Howdy folks, Hellcorrex here, and welcome to episode 64 from Thoughts from the Inner Sphere. And today we're going to be talking about the Charger. What? Good, bad, and ugly. The Charger. It's an 80-ton mech that wants to be a scout. So it kind of falls under the Steiner scout mech for 80 tons. Alright, let's delve into this thing. Now the Charger is a 580, so it moves around, gets around pretty fast. So you think an assault mech that can get there and get the job done with all kinds of firepower. But wait, there's more. Has 160 points of armor. Yes, you heard me. 160 points of armor. We got medium mechs that practically run around with more than this. And then it has the awesome firepower of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 small lasers. Yes, small laser. That's all it has. It has one in the head, one in the right torso, one in the left torso, one in the right arm, one in the left arm. So this thing just kind of gets up there and charges into somebody and wrecks face as fast as they can. Now, you're not really going to be doing a lot of damage. You know, if you want to be a scout and run around and spot for all those assault mechs that are behind you, you're the pilot for it, because it takes a special kind of guy to use one of these things. Now, I've seen a Charger. I have one. I don't use it very often unless it's a variant of my own design, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. But I've seen it successfully used in some games. Now there's an interesting one where we had a mech was sitting on a hill and it had basically a cliff behind him, and this Charger just says full bore, pedal to the metal, and goes up there and does a charge and just slams into this I think it was awesome. I think it was something like that. It was an assault mech, and does a push and drops it from like 6 levels down and crashes to the ground and does a ton of damage. Basically takes this mech out of action. But he paid the price for it because everybody decided to shoot at him. Had all of his armor ripped off and a couple criticals on the engine, if I remember right. Yeah, I think it was 2. Because there was nothing stopping really any of that weapon. Because let's just take a look here. Center torso, yeah, it has 25 points of armor on it, but it didn't take very long for it to get taken out. And typically, most of the times I've seen this mech in all the different kind of forms and different, let's say, at Origins or Gen Con, being played in major games, or in the case the couple times I hosting my own game systems, where a Charger is being used for that whole purpose of just going out there and running as fast as he can and just playing linebacker. And I'd say, half the time he does get one charge off successfully and smashes, but the end result is you're taking a lot of damage doing it. And for the to be honest with you, when you look at the battle value of this thing, it's like really low. Let me take here, look it up. It's not very high. Oh yeah, it's under 1,000. And I'd rather take something like a Jenner or something and, you know, make a good scout out of it. Now, there are some variants with this thing. Yeah, the one House Lyle, the L version, which is, yeah, just the IL. And this one basically removes all the small lasers and replaces it with 2 medium lasers. Hey, that's pretty good. 2 medium lasers and a large laser. Oh, what can go wrong? Wait a minute. How did they put everything on? Yes, you heard me. I just looked this thing up, and drum roll please, it has 88 points of armor. And with 88 points of armor, it doesn't take very long where you're suddenly into internal structure. Just a couple good hits from a PPC and a couple large lasers or an LRM rack 20, And this thing is like, oh my gosh, I'm taking criticals inside. And, oh, well, it's not a very good idea to do that. When you think about it, in terms of the game, it's like, yeah, it still has the battle value of the original A1 version, but nah, I don't think so. Now, there's a couple other ones that basically what you do if you really want to turn it into an assault mech instead of a very low firepower linebacker scout, is you basically move it to a 4-6 mover. Alright. Let's see. Looks like this one. Yep, that's the one I use. Is my own concoction, basically. I like the large laser like you get with House Lyle's version, but what do? I drop it down to a 4.64, put jump shots on this thing, because I'd like to have a mech kind of stay mobile. Put 17 heat sinks on it, and then I got 2 large lasers. I put one in the left arm because it doesn't have a hand actuator. I might as well put something in there that's useful, and if you can do a torso twist and shoot behind you, so much the better. And you like to do it with a large laser, and that gives you something that can shoot out a good distance. Alright, and then I put another one in the right torso, and then I follow up with 6, yes you heard me, 6 medium lasers. So if someone wants to get into their face up close and personal, and you're going to be firing 6 medium lasers, that's a potential of 30 points of damage. And if you run, that's up to 20 heat, and you got 17 heat sinks, you're going to only go up by 3. You can manage that. And then if you next turn, you can shut something off or rearrange it so you're only firing a large laser that drops you down. Say you walk or run. Oh, yeah, it leaves you basically with 7 points of heat. You can play without it. I can fire 3 medium lasers. Alright, works pretty good. Either way, look at it. Or you can fire the 2 large lasers, walk with no heat, or run with 1 point of heat. Alright, see how you can manage that. And that becomes a pretty good, and this, I'll tell you why I have it this way, is that when you're doing them like a merc behind operations, and you can go into the field and with a heavy assault mech with all that firepower and not worry about any resupply at all. And it makes a great city fighter. It can do convoy raiding, you name it, and then not have to worry about follow-on forces. And if you have certain mechs behind you that are all energy mechs, let's say a grasshopper like we just talked about, combine it with that one, so that suddenly you got some fast-moving, pretty decent mechs with some mobility to them. You're going to be moving around. Say you get into a small village or city and you have to displace from one city block to another. With the jump jets, you can get over there and just get in behind somebody and unload with the medium lasers into the rear arc and give them some interesting things to think about. So you can either leave it as a standard stock mech, or you can rip out that big engine and put a smaller one in and have lots of firepower. Either way you look at it. Now there's a couple other variants that you can do. Basically goes the same route I went with, but they put like missiles on it and stuff like that. So if you want to go crit hunting, either way, your mileage may vary. So that's pretty much when you think about the stalker, or not the stalker, but the charger. Kind of could work with a stalker, you know, as a good scout. You know, we always kind of joke about when it comes to Steiner mech, you know, or the Steiner recon, which is a whole bunch of assault mechs. Yeah, we're reconning by fire type of thing, and knocking somebody's door down by, it's like, hey, there's anybody in here? Yeah, but we're falling in with 380 tons of mech. You know, that's our scout lance. Just wait till the assaults show up, type of deal. Done that a few times. Got some interesting games. But let's see, what were some other ones that we had where the charger... Oh, there was the one city fight. Yeah, basically, we had this one where it was a city, and they had what was it? I think it was a catapult, and this catapult had moved around, and then was basically firing down this lane, this roadway, and my brother took his Charger that he had run at the time, and he's like full right straight down the street, not having to worry about any type of turns, and this catapult fires his LRMs at him and misses with those because of the movement modifiers that he had, and he just come plowing right into him. You know, you think about a 250-pound linebacker hitting a quarterback in a football game, it's like just crunch, smashes into him. And the end result was they both fail their pilot checks, and they both go down. Knocks out the pilot in the Charger, and because he took a head hit, and then the seatbelt check. So he passes out, hits the catapult, had took some damage earlier, falls down, hits his ammo rack, and kaboom, he blows up. So it was a pretty good game, that one. And he was kind of cheering. He's like, "It was worth it." And it's like, "Yep. If he ever wakes up, we can pat him on the back," type of deal. It was pretty good though. But other than that, you can think about what you might want to do with the Charger in the game. If you want to leave it stock or not. You can have fun either way. If it's just kind of a pickup game, play with it, try it, or take another mech. If you don't have one, what was it? The Assault box. One of the boxes, the new Alpha Strike box, is the plastic. I think it did a unboxing on it for my son's stuff. So if you ever look through my what do you call it, menu, you can find it in there somewhere where I did an unboxing of it. But have fun with this thing. Tell me if you had any great stories with this thing. And put it down below, like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.